believe that people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you walk in that room without a band and you're like, yep, I'm having a baby, and what? They will treat you like that. But if you are like, yep, I'm...
Hello and welcome back to the channel, y'all. This is The Conversations coming back with a video about single mother shame. So hit that subscribe and that like button, and let's get right into the video. You already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna break a couple things down. So let's get to it, y'all. Let's get into this.
New York Magazine recently interviewed a woman, Tanya, who found out she was pregnant right after breaking up with her boyfriend. Tanya said the hardest thing about her going through her pregnancy alone was navigating the self-imposed shame of being a black single mother. She even started wearing a fake wedding ring so that people would see her as a married black pregnant woman, and says she noticed an immediate difference in how people treated her.
Wow.
So ladies, do you agree with Tanya that it's hard out there for single mothers in these streets?
So let's just stop it right there, and let's address some of the things, the stigmas that they have for black single mothers, right? So she said that she broke up with her boyfriend and she was pregnant. Okay, so let's just kind of talk about the elephant in the room. Women, you have more power with sex than men do. You control that whole venue when it comes to sex. Okay? Shout out to Kevin Samuels, because I definitely been hearing this for a long time. And if anyone has been hearing things like this for a long time, you will agree with me and you agree with Kevin Samuels. But I was hearing this since I was a kid. Women, you do control access to sex. Men control access to marriage and relationships. And you also control what child is born into this world. There are several forms of birth control and prevention that you could be using. And for you to come out and just go, oh, it's hard being a single mother. I'm not buying that. You also control who you sleep with and who you get pregnant by. And a lot of things is some of the things that my grandparents used to say, yeah, we need to bring shame back. Yeah, you should be ashamed. You should definitely be ashamed for bringing a kid into the world with no father. We all know the statistics. And let's be honest. I'm a black man. I know exactly what that kid's going to probably end up going through, because I saw it. I saw it growing up. And I got to be real honest with you. I'm just not sharing the empathy and sympathy for this individual. I'm just not. I'm sorry. Let's just break this thing down. The black single mother is the Hindu cow of the black community. She's damn near untouchable. You can't say anything about her. So let's be honest. Everyone knows the statistics. Everyone knows the facts. You bring in, you got the government, the white daddy, taking care of the black woman. She thinks she's independent, but she's not. White daddy's taking care of her. On top of all of that, we know exactly what this did to the black community. Single mothers, there's nothing good to come out of single motherhood. Nothing. The independent woman, no, that doesn't even exist. You are reliant on something. Not to mention taking fathers out of the home. We know the statistics with that. And then let's not talk about the children that are raised in these communities with nothing but single moms. Have you guys ever seen it? Just a bunch of badass kids. No training. No structure. A good portion of them end up assholes. And every once in a while you get a couple of them to make the NBA and NFL. So what? The large majority of them do not make it out. The large majority of them end up being assholes. Let's be honest. And every woman on this panel, I'll be real honest with you. Every woman on this panel does not want to stay in a community full of single mothers. They don't. Let's be honest. But anyway, let's continue to see what she has to say.
Oh, I 100% agree that it is hard.
Yes.
But there was a key word in there, which was, she said, self-imposed.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes we beat ourselves up so badly on decisions, woulda, shoulda, couldas, and you could do that for the rest of your life. You have to take control of how you think about yourself. And you have to own your truth. You have to own what's going on in your life, own what went right, what went wrong, and say, look, this is what it is. There's a child that's about to come into this world. Own it. Walk around with confidence. Hold your head up high and move forward. Don't worry about what this one said. Because let me tell you, I believe that people treat you the way you allow them to treat you. If you walk in that room without a band and you're like, yep, I'm having a baby, and what? They will treat you like that. But if you are constantly self-imposing shame on yourself, you gotta let that go, man. Shame is one of the heaviest things that we carry with us, and it affects us in a real way. So I understand what she's saying, but at the same time, at some point, you gotta make that decision within yourself.
I think so. It was.
You know, let me address what she said too. That was a complete idiotic statement. I mean, there's some things that I can agree with, just a little bit, where you don't carry the shame. Of course, there's a kid coming into the world. You don't have to bring that shame on with the kid and all the rest of that stuff. But there should be some shame in it. You're not married. And once again, shout out to Kevin Samuels. I heard the same thing growing up. Marry before you carry. What are you talking about? There should be some shame in it. A lot of your grandparents would be ashamed of. And once again, I just want to point this out. I want to point this out. Did you see Jenny Ma? Look at her. That's a woman from Asian descent. Most Asians do not agree with single motherhood. They do not. How many Asian single mothers do you see? Be honest. They probably have to be one of the lowest on the totem pole when it comes to that statistic. So let's sit here and be honest about this. Right? Yes, there should be some shame in it. You're not a married woman, and you are bringing a child into the world when you know what the statistics are saying. And yet you have these idiots in the crowd clapping for that. Knowing at some point in time, if you had your kid, if you were a stable family with a mother and father, and you were sending your kids to a bunch of school, to a public school, any type of school, that was 80% single mothers, at some point in time, you are going to see your child's education decline. So I do not believe in that. No, I think it's idiotic for them to say something that's stupid. Yes, there should be some shame with it. You should be a married person with children, and that goes for anybody. I'm not just saying that about women, but it's more shameful for women because you have the choice. That's the thing. The choice is with you. There's no child that gets born into this world without you knowing it. It's not just one day you wake up and you're like, "Oh crap, I didn't know I was pregnant for 9 whole months." Come on. That's a rare thing to happen. It's a very rare thing to happen. And most of the time when you hear something like that, it's a bunch of overweight women. Let's be honest. Come on. Seriously? You know. Come on. Don't give me that. Seriously. But anyway, I'm going to sip this Johnny Walker, and we're going to continue with the video.
You know, like I said, I mean,
It's hard.
It's hard because she, you know, when I read the article, she was saying how she would go to Lamaze class, and then there was, you know, couples there. She didn't have someone.
Yeah.
And then there, you know, there's just everything is couples when you're pregnant and you go through hormones. So I think the bigger question is the value we put on marriage, and we assume that because a person is married and pregnant that they're happy, and they may not necessarily be happy.
That part.
They may not even want to be with that partner. And I think I agree with you that sometimes you have to change your thinking if you're a pregnant single woman. But also it goes back to planning. I think that, you know, things happen, and if you want to keep your baby, then you have to prepare yourself
Mentally.
to have those mental, consequences. But, it's just something that I think we put a lot of value on marriage, which is good.
But I get what you're saying. At that.
And let me just unpack what that idiot just said. She said we put too much value on marriage, even if the person didn't even want to be with them. Then why did you get pregnant by the individual? You can't make this up. You really can't make up what she just said. She said you assume that people are happy just because they got kids in the marriage. Shouldn't you have broken that off before that even happened? Why would you have children with with someone if you're not happy with that individual? That doesn't necessarily lead to happiness. So it just shows you that she's just as dumb. These are just really idiotic statements, to be honest with you. I mean, the bottom line is this. Women, you have control of this whole situation, of what comes in, what goes out. You have control to sexual partners, unless there are exceptions to the rule when it comes to you, unfortunately, with women being raped. Okay, that's something that that's definitely a whole nother topic. But let's be honest, that's exactly what it is. So let's not sit here and act like we don't know what it is. There are exceptions to the rule: incest, rape, things like that. That's something that a woman probably wouldn't have had too much control over. But in this case, they're talking about a woman that had a boyfriend and got pregnant. She had control of the whole situation. So let's sit here and play with this. A lot of these idiotic statements. Yes, we should bring shame back. And if I were any of these women up here, I mean, if I was any man dating any of these women up here, I would think again, especially with the ones that had the statements that they had. Anyway, there's a part 2 to this. I really don't want to go into it because I really don't want to hear things that are just as stupid. Because it just seems like it's one excuse after another for women that just keep making mistakes. There's no accountability and no responsibility for it. She said you could walk into a place as a single mom, unmarried, in one of the worst situations and go, yeah, I'm having a child, and what? Well, what if that's her 4th or 5th or 6th child with her 4th or 5th or 6th man? And what? You know what, gentlemen? You guys really better start listening to what these women are saying, because they're not making any sense. And these statements were completely stupid. And the sad part about it is that these women are on a show spreading this idiocracy to the masses. To the masses. You guys better start listening to what these women are really saying. Because when you are splashing in them, and this is the way they're thinking, you're going to find yourself in court hurt. Very bad. Anyway, I can see that my Johnny Walker is getting a little low here, fellas. Gentlemen, protect yourselves at all times. And always, stay dapper. I'm the Conversationalist. Until next time.